Morning, babies. It's an early one this morning. Hi guys, and welcome back to this week's vlog. And in today's vlog it is a competition, so we are going arena eventing again back at Down Farm where we went last month, because today is the last arena eventing competition until October now. Next month they've got something on that's a bit similar to it, but it's not actually proper arena eventing. It's a little bit different, so we wanted to go for one last time. Obviously, if you guys saw the vlog last month, you will have seen that it went really well and Dan enjoyed it. So fingers crossed it's going to be the same today. In fact, it is going to be the same today. It is currently 5 to 6. Dan's just eating his breakfast and I think I'm going to get mucked out, and we're going to go and pick the trailer up at 6:30 because we've actually got to be left here for 7:30 because mine is the first class. I'm doing the 60 centimetres again because even though last month the 60 went absolutely amazing and me and Dan could definitely go into the 70, because the cross country jumps are basically 70, but they're like quite a small 70. So I'm basically, for the cross country side, I'm basically jumping the 70. The only difference is that the show jumps are bigger in the 70 than the cross country jumps. So yes, I just want to go into the 60 again, and I'll probably do that for quite a lot of shows once Dan and I get back out show jumping, until it's like properly consistent, and then I will work my way back up to 70, because if you guys are new, Dan and I normally compete at 60 and 70, which hopefully we'll get back to that height by maybe the summer, but it doesn't really matter. If I end up doing the whole of this year just at 60 centimetres, I'm not worried at all, as long as it's going well and we're both enjoying it. The only thing that it does mean by jumping the smaller heights is that it's always an early start, which is annoying. So sometimes I do wish I was jumping bigger, just for the sense of not such the early starts. It will be more like lunchtime. But the course walk is at 8:30, so we're going to get there for 8:30 to do the course walk. And then there's only 7 people in my class, so it's actually quite a small class today, whereas last month there was 17, so it's a bit of a difference. So I reckon it's going to go quite quickly. So I reckon I'll probably be in by about 9:30, which will be good, which means we can get back here early. But for now, I'm going to get this stable mucked out, which is actually very clean considering I put new shavings in last night and it's always messy the first night. So I'm going to get that cleaned out so I don't have to worry about it later. One mucked out stable by 8 minutes past 6, which is pretty good if you ask me. My mum is currently mucking out Dawny too, and just look at that tail, guys. Honestly, I can't sweep that area because obviously he stood there, but yeah. Guys, sorry you can't see me, but everything is going so wrong at the minute. So we went up to go and get the trailer, and you know, like the handbrake on the trailer that you pull up, we never put that on because we know that it gets stuck and then you can't do it. So we just never do it. And if we're in a place where we think it's going to move, we just put blocks by the tyres, everything like that. Last went out in the trailer last weekend, which was to Coxie for my Zara lesson, and we come back and unhitched it. Have not touched the brake. Like, we've had this trailer for over 20 years and we know not to do the brake, because about 5 years ago someone put the brake up and it got stuck and we couldn't do it, but luckily there was someone on the yard, because we was on a livery yard, that was strong enough to undo it, and we've never done it since. We went up there and my mum hitched up the trailer and it was not moving. I got out the car and realised that the handbrake was on. We have no idea who's put the handbrake on. We looked and all the other trailers next to it, all the handbrakes on, so we reckon someone's gone up there, seen that our handbrake's not up, and pulled it up, which is just so annoying, because the whole time it's been there, if anyone's been up there, they'll know that the handbrake's Always Dan, it's currently 7 o'clock and I'm meant to be leaving in 15 to 20 minutes and we cannot get the brake to go down. We asked this man because we thought he'd be strong, and he come up and he can't even do it either. So my mum's brought me back here because she's had to get WD-40 and get a hammer to see if we can bash it down, because obviously it's early so no one's coming up doing their horses yet. So my mum's dropped me up here because obviously I've got to get Danny ready and things, and I've literally got 15 minutes. My mum's going to go up there and spray it with WD-40 and see if she can get it down, and if it does not go down, I'm not going to be able to go, which is just so annoying because literally all the days for this to have happened, and it happened a day of a competition where I literally cannot be late, and I absolutely hate being late. I get proper stressy. I like to be with plenty of time so I don't have to rush, else I get all stressy, and then Dan picks up on me getting stressy, and then everything goes wrong. So I'm trying to stay as calm as possible, but I don't even, if we're late I'm not going to have enough time to do the walk the course or anything, and there's a chance that I might not be going, but I'm hoping that this WD-40 or the hammer's gonna do something. So I'm gonna carry on like I am going because I'm hoping I am going. And also Dan is plastered in mud. Yesterday, it's so annoying, I took him for a ride and he was clean. I brushed him and everything. And then I'm gonna get on with it and talk. Woo! Sorry guys, apologies if it's bad filming, I'm talking. Yeah, I took his fleece off yesterday because it was too hot for him to have 2 rugs on during the day. And then I rode in the morning, and then last night when I went to put his fleece back on, sorry, you can't even really see me, he was absolutely plastered in mud. So hopefully the trailer can be solved quickly, and hopefully I can get brushing, because if there was like 17 people like last time in there and I was the last one, it'd be like, oh, it's okay, I can do it. But the fact that there's only 7 and it takes an hour to get there, like you can't even get there any quicker. Yeah, awesome. So annoying, but I'm going to try not and get stressed and just plan that we are going, because I don't want Dan to pick up on the stress, because I know I'm going to be stressing. Sorry, this is such a bad vlog already guys, and it's going to be even worse if I can't go. Also, Dan, you'll probably see it in the videos, Dan's got like this thing on his bum where there is no hair, and well, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's nothing bad, it doesn't hurt him or anything. I've put pressure on, he's absolutely fine with it. I don't know if it's some kind of heat thing where we thought that it isn't hot enough to take his fleece off, and during the day he's got a bit warm, and I don't really know what it is, but basically he's got no hair there. It is literally just a bald. He's had it for about a week or 2, and I've been putting Sudocrem on it, obviously to try and get the hair back, hoping that it wouldn't be so noticeable for like today and things, because it is slightly embarrassing. But it kind of looks no better. But obviously I don't want to put Sudocrem on it today because it's going to be white, so I'm going to put Cambrosa on it, which is basically like it. But yeah, it's nothing to worry about. It doesn't hurt him or anything. It does look ugly and it does look sore, but I promise you it's not. Guys, it's all good. You can probably hear the trailer coming up the hill now. I'm just stood in the road to make sure no car comes down, so we don't stop because we don't want that problem, which has happened to us before. Well, apparently my mum had to get the hammer and just hit it so hard for it to move. But it's all good. I've nearly got Dan done. So, sorry, our car's so loud. But here it is. Thank God we can go. I've put on 2 cross-country boots so far, but he's all brushed, got his rug on. I just got to finish putting the boots on, and now I've got to try and get through without getting a bramble in my leg, which I don't know how. get across and put his travel boots on, and then I can load up. Whew, I'm through. Right, I'll see you guys in a minute. We are en route, guys. We are 5 minutes late, but that is pretty good considering we were still up at the trailer at 7:05. So it's all good. We'll be there by 8:30, so it's perfect. We have arrived and we're actually earlier, so every time we've come here it always takes us the exact hour, but we're about 5 minutes early, so that's all good. It turns out that we've actually got here the time that we wanted to. So I'll get Dan out, and I'll probably keep him in the stable, go and walk in the stable, in the trailer, go and walk the course, and then get him out and just see what's going on down here. Right guys, we're here for the course walk. We need to find that's number 2, so oh great. We start with an oxer with the planks for a first jump. It's okay, we've jumped it before. So this is number 1, guys. This is fine, we jumped it. It was our second one last time. It would have been nice if it was our second or third, but it's fine. Number 2, why couldn't this one be our first jump? Coming up to number 3, this is fine. Yeah, that's up past my knee, guys, and 70 comes to my knee, and I'm doing 60. It's fine. Number 4, which is fine. This was actually our 4th one last time, so it's got.
They were small.
Yeah, I don't think they're that big. Number 5. Number 6. First cross country jump, which is tiny. Number 2. Number 3, nice and easy. Number 4. Number 5. So basically, guys, the grey is the 60 centimetres and the orange is the 70. But yeah, that's fine. Number 6. Number 7 is up this slope to the shoulder brushes, I'm pretty sure, which is what we done last time. Yep, I was right. Number 8, and then got the same one, number 9, which you guys will recognise most of these jumps if you watch my first arena eventing competition. So that's 9. Now, on the thing on Facebook, they said that there's 3 shoulder brushes. So, good, thank you. Second to last jump. Then walk out, well, canter or trot, whatever. Depending on how he feels like. That's what I'm going to do. And then this is the last jump. Okay, so I thought I'd come on here and do a voiceover, which you guys will see in a minute. So I actually started my round with a canter because the bell went, and I thought if I'm just trotting around, my time is just going to be forever. So I cantered to it, but then just before I come to the first jump, I brought him back to trot because I still wanted to trot in to the first few, which he jumped very, very well. He was willing to carry on cantering, so I thought let's let him. And then here I wanted to bring him back to a trot because the third one, as you can see, is just a plain straight bar, but number 4 is where there is planks, and it's an oxer, and Dan done a pathetic stop. Now, I have been rewatching this and I did keep my leg on him. I also gave him a tap on the shoulder, so I'm not quite sure what was wrong with him, but he done it again. But the third time I was like, come on, and I went, go on, like that to him, and he did jump it. I kind of tried to ignore that for the rest of the round, and then I carried on cantering, and this jump here is the plank, so I brought him back to trot. Again, he was happy to canter, so I thought, okay, and we have another stop. Now, I'm going to give him this stop because there was the poppy fillers at the side, and you can clearly see when I zoom in that that is what he refused at, and the second time he was like, okay, now this is the first cross-country jump, which he was absolutely fine. He done a little funny jump over it. Again, here, he didn't jump it the best, but I didn't feel like he was going to stop with me or anything. And the next jumps, I just proper rode him and got him going forward, and he jumped them absolutely fine. I would say here I had quite a nice forward canter. Again, over the house, he was absolutely fine. Over number five he was. The rest of the round he was absolutely fine. There was not once where I thought he was going to stop with me or anything. He seems to like number 6 to the slope. He was fine going up over the slope, and then I did bring him back to trot here for the shoulder brushes, which he was absolutely fine with. And then this time we had to go around the little loop to come over the next shoulder brush, which was basically the same as the wooden ones, but they're bright green, which I would say is the most scariest jump. And he jumped it absolutely fine. You would have seen he was a bit spooky up at the corner as well. And then I thought I'm going to make him trot down, and then I asked for canter, which this is number 11, which is the house. And again, he was absolutely fine. He was looking at the photographer on the side, but literally after the first 2 stops he just gave me the best feeling. And then this is the last jump, and he flew it. Okay guys, so we're now on our way back. You will have seen the footage, and there's a lot of positives in our round, and obviously you would have seen that we had 2 stops, and I know what one of the stops was. The second stop that we had, I think it was a red and white jump. There was the poppy fillers, and they were there last time, and they wasn't even under, but as I was cantering him to it, that, like, you can see that's what he looks at, so I'll give him that. But number 4, I do not know what happened. Obviously it had the blue wiggly plank, but we've jumped that so many times, it's never been a problem. Last month we done it, it wasn't a problem, but I know to ride him at it, and I purposely, what I done is I started the round as in trot, and then I think the second jump I cantered, and then I was like, right, I'm going to bring him back to trot here to the wiggly plank, and then he just stopped with me, and it took 2 attempts to get him over the jump. But I do feel very deflated about it because obviously this is the last arena eventing competition I'm going to be doing now until like October time. So I wanted it to end well. Obviously it started well, the first arena eventing competition we done, but I also wanted it to end well so that by October when we go back out and do it, I was like, oh, our last round going there was positive, if that makes sense. Although it was still very positive because except from those 2 jumps, he jumped every other jump absolutely fine. I mean, the minute I got onto the cross country, that is definitely his favourite phase. There wasn't a moment where I was like, oh my god, he's going to stop here. I kept my leg on him at every single jump after the first 2 stops because I didn't want to obviously have a refusal, but he was just absolutely fine with them. And also this time I cantered more of them. So last time I trotted all of the show jumps and then cantered the cross country. but I would trot up around the loops, whereas today I actually canted him all the way around, so our timing, I probably would have been in the time. But obviously with me having the 2 refusals, that put us down, which was annoying. I also had 4 faults as well. We knocked the plank down, but I'm not really worried about knocking the poles down. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not annoyed, I'm not blaming Dan at all. I don't actually have a clue what happened. I felt like I rode him at that jump. Whether or not I did or not, I need to really look back into the video, but it was positive because I didn't get eliminated, which normally happens to me when out competing. I didn't fall off. Yes, I had 2 refusals, but I got him over it, and the rest of the show jumps he didn't look at, and all of the cross country jumps he didn't look at, so I can take 2 stops, but I'm just deflated in the fact that I just wish that it went well for our last round, but it doesn't matter. I don't know, Dan was very lucky as well. At the top, after doing the brushes, there was like a sheep or something, and he just was looking at like everything, I felt. And then with the photographer, I was coming up to number 11, and he was just watching the photographer, like looking into it, and I was coming up to it, and I knew he wasn't going to stop or anything, and I was like, Dan, look where you're going, because he's just not even looking. But I did finish on a high, because obviously we completed them all, and it did feel very good after. The cross country round was obviously my favourite round, and I would definitely say it was Danny's, but I wouldn't say he was in the game as much as he was last month, because last month, honestly, he was so happy to be out. Like, he just wanted to go. In the warm-up, I'm not sure if there was much footage of us in the warm-up, but I thought he needed a wee, so I kept taking him out onto the grass to see if he needed a wee, because else he's not happy about jumping. But I can confirm that he didn't need a wee, because obviously he didn't go. And also, if I asked for canter, he's really like sluggish, and he wasn't like that at all. Like, he was very forward today. So I'm just gonna forget about the 2 refusals, even though how deflated I am, and take away that we jumped 16 jumps without no problems at all, and just move on from those 2 stops. I brought him back, untacked him, he's had his treats, and he's now in his trailer. And like I said, it wasn't Dan's fault, and I'm not blaming Dan. I think I rode him at it, but I need to look back at it again. But I am very proud and happy of him for the sense of everything else that he did. It's a few days later, guys, and these are the photos that I purchased from Rob Bay's photography. They are amazing. I love them. But what I would like to say, which I only found out yesterday, that Tor River put the results up and Danny and I came 4th, which is just amazing, because considering we did have the 2 stops, it was just so good. If we didn't have the 2 stops, we would have done even better, because we were quite fast on our cross-country time. I'm not going to lie to you guys, which I mentioned earlier on, but I was a little bit deflated on Sunday with having those 2 stops. Like I said, I'm not blaming Danny at all, and maybe if I did have my leg on a little bit more, he might have not had the stops. I'd be intrigued to see what you guys thought. But after keep watching our round back, I am super proud of Danny, because I got him over the jumps, and the rest of the jumps he absolutely flew. The cross country, it was just like a completely different horse. And watching back the videos again, it did give me that buzz. So I'm going to completely forget about those 2 stops, because they were completely pathetic, and we ended on a really good high for next time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog. For a few weeks now, there's going to be no jumping vlog, because Dan and I are going to have just a week or 2 of just not jumping at all. Not because of how today went or anything like that. I mentioned it last weekend in my Coxie vlog that recently we have been doing quite a lot of jumping, and I normally like to give Danny a variety where he goes out in the trailer and does something different than jumping, which hasn't happened for a few weeks. So we're going to have, it's actually half term next week, so I've got few things planned that I'm going to do with him, which involves going out in the trailer, but nothing to do with jumping. And then the week after, Dan and I are going to a new arena where we have never been before, and I'm looking forward to it. So stay tuned for that video, and stay tuned for others, obviously. But if you have enjoyed enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Bye.